As you know, I kind of accompanied the journey as a CAG chair, but I have never looked at that from your lens as the board chair. I think you chaired during your tenure probably 40 board meetings, some of them virtual during COVID times. So looking backwards, what were kind of like challenging moments or decisions you had to make, and how did you navigate through them?
It's a good question, actually. I think there's a couple of projects that stand out for me as having particularly difficult decisions at the centre. One was a public sector specific project, so what started life as social policy obligations and became social benefits. And the other one was an alignment project, which was the leases project. And I think in both cases, we ended up with two very different possible treatments which would make a big impact on government balance sheets. And there were very strong proponents of both points of view in both cases. It is very difficult, as you say, as a chair, actually, when you get a lot of, conflicting views from constituents. Really, the question is, how do you work your way through that? And I think it's important to take the time to listen to what's actually been said, and then to look at it in the round and think, well, what are the pros and cons of the two potential treatments? And really take time to work through the feedback that's been given. But at the end, actually, a decision needs to be taken. And I think that's where you as chair actually have to take a lead in terms of saying, well, I've listened very carefully to what's been said. I've listened to the discussion in the board. And, through those discussions, the proposed way forward is this. And then the debate and the discussion begins again around that. But I think those are the two areas where that it was either one way or the other way, and you end up sort of looking at it and thinking, I think this is pointing in this way, and you can certainly see in the basis for conclusions in both standards the difficult discussions that the board went, and in the end, you do end up with a group that's sort of, are more in favour of a certain solution, and that's the way you have to go, but not easy.